tree of liberty has been thirsty for too long. I am the spark, the powder, the match, the shot that rang, the line in the patch. I am the night they tossed the tea, the oath they swore to die free. You can chain my hands, you can break my bones, but you'll never own my soul. I am the fire in the midnight sky, the reason tyrants die. I am 1776, lightning, thunder, iron, and grit. Every musket, every fist. I am 1776. Oh, oh, I am 1776. I am the flag they tried to burn, the shot that made the empire turn. I am the rebel, the Minuteman, the ink that wrote we can. We hold these truths. Hear my boots on the cobblestone. Hear my war cry. Shake the throne. Hear my drum. You know it's near. Your reign of fear ends here. I am 1776. Lightning, thunder, iron, and grit. Every musket, every fist. I am 1776. I am 1776. I am 1776.
Okay, looks like we're here. Guys, give me a sound check 5x5. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I was trying to do something this morning like I normally do, but the life took over as usual, and we just have to do what we have to do. Okay, for those of you that have never been here before, this is, I'm Cal, aka the Local Prepper, and I've been screwing this up for so many years it's not even funny. Just started to finally get it right. No, that's a joke, actually. Anyway, for those of you hanging out with me, it looks like we've got West Virginia Pappy, who is first already. Then you are number 2. And let's see here. West Virginia Pappy tells me that I am 5x5. We haven't got the turd checking in just yet. Says there's 3 people watching here, but that's okay. This was all very last minute, so the algorithm is not going to be sending out notifications until we're at least an hour into this, which means almost at the end of it. Let's see here. So today we're going to be going over a few different things, but let's go ahead and check this out real quick, because I thought it was kind of interesting.
Other home front news: you may want to buy toilet paper, as the supplier of nearly half of the nation's teepee went up in flames in Ontario, California. Why somebody would want to burn a teepee factory is beyond me, but if you want to cause chaos, COVID already taught us that disrupting the supply of bum wiping material is a sure way to do it. And it's also the reason I now own a bidet. This week's activity: buy an extra case of each of the things you use on a daily basis at home. TP is first on the list, followed by paper towel rolls, soap, laundry detergent, floor and bathroom cleaners, basic plain unscented household bleach. In fact, buy a few of these because you can also disinfect any emergency water supplies. Also, toothpaste, antibacterial hand sanitizer, and really anything else that sits in the closet or under your sink. Go take a peek down there and see what you have. If you're out, buy a few. If not, just grab an extra or two. All right, that's this week's threat brief. Stay alert.
Okay. I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. That's actually Jace Medical has been doing their a weekly threat brief. I can't say that it's great, but I mean it's something, and it's not fear porn. So I kind of watch it. Thought I'd share that with you guys. Looks like West Virginia Pappy, thank you for sharing that out. Wow, the shelves are looking empty. Well, yeah, because I'm moving. It's taking like forever. It's taking forever, man. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Going to the polls here, we've got, let's see here. So the question is, how close do you think we are to SHTF? And I use that as a general terminology because we're kind of like everything everywhere all at once is what TJ from Refuge Medical would say, also known as Bear Independent. No TP shortage. Or, oh no, TP shortage. Yeah, apparently you guys didn't see that. I should probably try and find that for you. Man, he's a disgruntled employee, man. Burns up toilet paper. Basically, he was, I guess they fired him or something, and for massive warehouse fire. Disgruntled NFI Industries employee was arrested for a massive warehouse fire. Video showing starting the blaze. This could be worth watching here. Let me double check it, make sure there's no crazy music on it. It's trying to load. It may or may not. It's coming off of NBC News. And come on now, NBC News. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's wow. So yeah, let me push this button.
Tonight, police say this massive warehouse fire was allegedly the work of a disgruntled employee. Stunning new video appears to show the start of the fire. In the footage posted to social media, you hear someone say all you had to do was pay us enough to live, as stacks of toilet paper burn.
All you had to do was pay us enough to live. There goes your inventory.
Last night, police announced the arrest of Chamil Abdul Karim on suspicion of multiple felony arson-related charges, adding the 29-year-old is an employee of NFI Industries, a third-party distributor for Kimberly-Clark, the company known for manufacturing paper-based personal care and hygiene products.
Paper-based personal care and hygiene products.
At the time that it started, yes.
In a statement, police say they can't comment on specifics, but are aware of this video, adding they will be utilizing any evidence for the investigation. According to fire officials, the blaze broke out in the early morning hours of yesterday in Ontario, California. Flames shot up in back of nearby homes as the fire tore through the approximately million square
My God,
foot warehouse.
all that toilet paper
It was
gone.
uncharacteristic fire. It definitely pushed our firefighters into that defensive operation, and that was one indication that it could possibly be a arson of nature.
In a statement, Kimberly-Clark said no one was injured and all workers were safely evacuated. Karim has yet to be formally charged and is being held without bail. Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated.
Let's get off that. Okay, so looks like we got several more people that have got their notifications. Make sure you guys check in. It's greatly appreciated. Obviously, we're looking for the deterred. Let's see who it's going to be today. It doesn't really matter. It's a title of dignity. But I thought I'd introduce you guys to the great TP fire of 2026. That was not even planned. But looks like we are starting to get some votes in the poll. The question is, how close do you think we are to SHTF? Currently, 67% say within 1 year. Within 1 year. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get on point here. And we covered that. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And I guess the first thing that we probably want to talk about is we're getting a lot of crazy. It's not just that we're getting tons and tons of misinformation in our news feeds. It's that we have become so critically divided on certain issues that almost we're, I hate to say this, but we're really starting to find the un-American people. And when I say un-American, so listen, my definition of an American is somebody who actually, like, you can still support and question your government. You can still support your government and ask the hard questions. And you can even support your government as well as fighting bad things, but you just can't run around willy-nilly crying about every stinking thing. What's the quote I'm looking for? Methinks you protest too much. What's up, Sean? Good to see you. You are deterred. All right, and for the other slackers out here who haven't checked in yet, you are super slacking today. Human interaction is required. All right, so I'm going to scroll down here on to basically, so there's a lot of complaints. People are throwing a fit, a mundo, over the new, or should I say semi-new, and this is coming out of Redacted, the semi-new automatic draft. You're automatically being drafted. Are we headed for a military draft? These people, man, it's mind-blowing. First and foremost, let's just throw it right out there. It is a federal law that once you reach a certain age and position, stature in life, that you sign up for selective service. That's it. And one of the issues that they're having is that some people are not following the law. Now, they still collect a paycheck, they still pay taxes, they still have rights under the Constitution, yet they just don't want to do what they're supposed to do. What they've voted for, because when you vote somebody into office and they do something, that means that you voted for it, and that if you didn't like that, then you should have voted for somebody who would change that. And I know that's a long, tedious process, and I know it's not perfect. That is absolutely 100% true. So I'm not saying that you're like stupid if you don't want to be in the military. What I'm saying is that it's a law that you're supposed to do that. Adult males are at the age of 18, sign up for selective service. It's the law, you do it, blah, blah, blah. You can actually like lose out on certain educational rights. If you didn't sign up for the selective service, then you are legally not eligible for government college payments, college money. So, I mean, it's pretty simple, but people are turning it into more than it is. So, the Trump administration proposed adding an automatic draft registration into the upcoming defense bill. This would mean that all American men between 18 and 26 would be automatically registered for the draft. It does not mean that they would be drafted yet. They've always got to throw something in. I used to really be into Redacted. If you guys still watch Redacted, put a 1 in the chat for me. I'm kind of curious. I used to really be into Redacted, but they just get their anti-war rhetoric has taken on a new life of itself. And don't get me wrong, war sucks. It absolutely sucks. But war is the last tool in the toolbox when negotiations are no longer effective. They no longer work. That's why we have a military. We don't have a military to guard ourselves from British, Ironside warships rolling up into one of our coastlines. That's not why we have a military. That's why we don't have our Department of Defense doesn't exist anymore, because it's a Department of War. This is what war fighters do. They wage war. They are not the world's police, which we're finding out very quickly. And in some circles, they're actually trying to use that as some kind of way to say that the United States is weak because they're no longer the world's police force. They never were. It's just that a bunch of lefty nutbags got into office and started using them that way. I remember the first missions. It was like, what in the hell? I am trained to do a specific task, and that is to unalive people that are in my way. Okay? And now you're telling me that it's like I might as well just put the MP badge on and say, over here, don't worry, we're just here to help. And, you know, because it's a significantly different thing from humanitarian missions to war fighting missions. So anyway, they're saying the Biden administration tried to do this in 2024, but that provision was removed before the bill was passed. The Trump administration is just picking up where Democrats left off because war is bipartisan. Because war is bipartisan, the Uniparty is aligned on sending your, not their, sons to war. You know, and here's the funny thing. If it's like we just forget the most simplest common sense. Okay, so these people that want to send your children, not their children, to war. Okay, first and foremost, if you go to college, you just sign this little thing that says I'm in college, and they can't touch you. They can't touch you while you're in college. It's that easy. I mean, there has to be a very, very specific point in the War Powers Act that says that no, college doesn't matter anymore. It's all or nothing. Get on the bus. Okay, but it's never been used. It wasn't even used during the Vietnam War. It was never used during the Iraq War. It was never used during Afghanistan. It was never used any time. Okay, so quit pretending that people that you know, don't want to send their children to war, because no one wants to send their children to war. And oh, by the way, if you're in college, then you don't got to go to war. It's really that easy. It's really that easy. So it's all blah 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 blah. It's blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? West Virginia Pappy says, when does equal rights kick in, requesting women to register? People are not ready for that. People are not ready for that. You know, we've had females in the military for a long time. We kept them out of what they call non-combatant military occupational specialties 4 years, just in the last 4 years that we recently allowed them to be in there, if they could perform at the same level. But then we started to lower the standards. And don't get me wrong, there are some women that are in the Marine Corps infantry that can outperform some men. It's true. I've seen them. They are freaking scary. Absolutely scary. But their mind is in the place that they want to be a warrior. And so more power to them. More power to them. I don't really have a problem with it. As long as they're doing their freaking jobs. That's all I care about. Sean says, war still has its place. Absolutely. It always has. It always will. It always will. Like I said, war is the last option when all negotiations have failed. You know, but you know, even our own people, there's a sect of Americans, or should I say there's a sect of people that live in America that are like, stop waging war everywhere. We don't need this. And there's some question to that. But also, aren't you an American? Isn't this America? Remember, support the troops. It's very simplistic, but remember, support the troops. What was it? Last month, I made a video that didn't do very well. That basically outlines a simple statement. Shut your friggin' mouths. Stop talking like everything that you're saying that is anti this and anti that does nothing but hurt the war fighter, does nothing but hurt your kids that signed up to do this. It's an all-volunteer force, baby. Nobody made them do squat. Nobody made them do anything whatsoever, you know? West Virginia Pappy says, when words break down, arms build up. That's true. That's true. And it looks like the poll's starting to move. We got some more votes in there. That's great. So the question is, how close do you think we are? You know what I forgot to do, guys? I'm going to throw it up for 5. I'm going to throw 5 super chats. And we're going to go all colors. And we're going to go 1 hour. I got to get, let's see here. Let's feed the cats. I don't have the hat with me here. The hat is in North Carolina, so that is not going to going to work. So throwing that out there. Let's see here when road breakdown. But with the poll, where are we at here? What, the poll just disappeared? Did the poll just disappear? What the hell? Where's it at? What is going on here with all of the technical stuffs? There we go. Let's I'm gonna start a poll. I wanna see. Did the poll disappear, guys? What in the heck just happened? This is so weird. I can't start a poll because it's there. Interesting. Alrighty then. Thank you very much for your Canadian $2.79. So that tells me that Alrighty then just paid 79 cents in tariffs. You're appreciated. Make sure everybody hits that like button for him. I'm gonna give him the big old heart here. Give you my heart. Give you my heart. I can't, obviously I can't like raise it all the way up, like, because if I do, then you know what I'm saying, sig whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this whole pretending that this anti-war stuff is anything but anti-American is just foolish. It's just constantly doing some crazy stuff. And then the next one is the math isn't adding up. So, you know, obviously, let's make a happy, joy, you know, smiley face. Stuffs that is going on. I can't believe no one's given Alrighty then a thumbs up, you know, for that donation of $2.75. I still can't see the poll, man. I don't know what happened to the poll. It's like it's there. I can't even stop it. I don't know. Let me make a bigger screen here. Maybe there's a button someplace I can push. Community reactions. See, okay, let me see goal. I'm going to close that out. All right, man. I don't know what happened to. Let me go to top chat. Let me see if I can recycle this puppy and find that darn poll. Okay, so I recycled my chat from back and forth from live to top to back to live, and the poll reappeared. All right, so currently we've got some votes. We got 9 votes, which is great. So how close do you think we are to SHTF? And the numbers are shrinking, guys. So within 1 year, 44%, and it's a tie for within 3 months and within 6 months at 22%, and 11% say very soon, very soon. Okay, so we're back on this, and the math isn't adding up. So groceries cost more, insurance premiums. You know what? This is an advertisement. They just tricked me with an advertisement, and we're not going to watch any more of their crap. We're not watching any more of their crap because that's all this is. That's all that's unfortunately that is all that it's turned into. All right, so we're going to click on over and jump to the morning brew. These are some emails that I get daily on different subjects. Where are we at here? Any CEO stuff? Taking a look at the stocks and ads. It's like everything is up. It's important except for Palantir, which is really interesting at down 7%. Anyway, all right, let's see here. Long-time economic impacts of Iran war. And precarious 2-week ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran held yesterday, but the dust is far from settled. The agreement's durability remains up in the air, and economic chaos is still afoot. Guys, I'm here to tell you right now that there are multiple players in the geopolitical sphere that would like to see this war continue. Why? Oh, let's see. Because if it goes past 2 months, then Trump has to talk to Congress, and Congress can say no more and get rid of the troops, get them all back, and then that would be like this giant failure, you know, in the eyes. I guarantee the troops will get pulled back before we hit the 60-day mark. Guarantee it. I guarantee there'll be some kind of announcement, and you know, it's us pulling the troops out of there benefits. You know, Iran, they're going to be like, Iran's already saying, oh, we've met all of our goals, our objectives of this war. It's like, really? You knew it was, you met all your goals and objectives? What were they? You know, and we fought back the great Satan infidels, and the rest of the world is going to be like, oh, I guess they're not as tough as they thought they were. They were going to do this and this, and they didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's all this it's all this middle school. I'll see you at 3 o'clock. It after school romper room. You know what I'm saying? Behind the smoking area. Most of you don't even know what that is. Anyway, and that's what we're dealing with every single day on the internet. It's so outrageously foolish. It's I can still see the poll. There you go. I don't know if that sounds right. Alrighty then. But this is what we're running into, and it says whether peace lasts hinges on the talks in Pakistan this weekend, where the U.S. is dispatching Vice President J.D. Vance to negotiate a long-term accord with Iran. Meanwhile, Israel agreed to talk directly with Lebanon to end its military campaign against the militant group Hezbollah, which Iran insists was a condition of the ceasefire. Which Iran insists was a condition of the ceasefire with the U.S. And obviously the S&P rose, looks like 6% yesterday. I did notice that gas went down 10 cents overnight. They say the price of things goes up quickly and comes down slowly. Honestly, I don't know what to say, because I think somebody's full of crap. I've been doing some research. We're going to talk about it in the second half of the live stream today. And I just did like some really, really deep research on you can't stand in front of the American public and say that we are a gross exporter of oil, and then somehow the price of our gasoline goes up exponentially when somebody farts in the Middle East on the other side of the world. So there's got to be some understanding to it, and I think I found it. I actually looked for a solution, but the solution is much harder and is much longer to apply than anybody had ever even thought about. It's not impossible, but it is something that unfortunately exists. But Iran says it's going to charge some ships $2 million to sail through the Straits, subjecting the waterway to a tolling system. But there's some safety risks, obviously, with the mining of the Straits. Iran did submit maybe I can look that up. Iran. Passage map. Let's see if we can find that. Images. Okay. This is not. It's not really showing me what I want to see. Okay, this one's going to be. Let's go ahead and open you in a new tab, and we're going to click on over to that. And we'll let that. Let's see if it actually resonates. It's a really bad image. No, I'm not going to show. That's super blurry. Give me 1 second, guys, here. 1 second. I'm trying to find this new map that they submitted that would actually explain. Maybe this one, or maybe this one's works. Open in a new tab. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, so this is the new map that Iran has submitted. And what they're basically doing is they're trying to get, this is the traditional route right around here. There's actually this zone, which is considered to be the actual passage itself, But what they're doing is they're trying to get people to go this way, use this as the new route, because then they'll be guaranteed safe passage as long as they give them $2 million. But this is what they are suggesting. But all it does is push ships up closer to the Iran itself, which You know, that's going to be a no bueno. That's going to be a no go. I think. I don't think it's going to work out for them, especially if they're not willing to share in the profits. You know, Trump wants his profits. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be one of those things that's just that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and close that out. All right, looks like we've reached the halfway point in the show. And obviously we're going to, Cindy Hoffman, thank you very much. Everybody make sure you guys give Cindy a thumbs up and hit that. Yes, thank you very much, Cindy, for that $5 donation. It's greatly appreciated. We'll go over the poll here in a second, but as usual, if you love your country, put a 1 in the chat. Erica, I'm going to drink some stuff. It's coffee. I got to change that. I got to change that back. I got to find those stickers. They're probably in North Carolina. Talk some smack, and I'm going to pay some bills. And this one's a little different, so enjoy.
What if your family got sick and there was no pharmacy open? No antibiotics? No relief? Supply chain breakdowns, bad weather, emergencies. In today's world, one infection can turn into a nightmare when the system fails. This is why thousands of people have a Jace case. They're best in class, and that's because one case can protect your entire family. With that said, do you have Jace Daily? Have you even heard of Jace Daily? This program is for those that need drugs to survive, you know, especially the ones that, like if you don't get your drugs, you get kind of unalive pretty quickly. Jace offers a 12-month program on your current drugs. It's really that easy. Yes, I make 32 cents every time you spend $100. It's the way of the world now. But Jace is the best, so it's a pretty simple decision. And if you want to save a few bucks, use code LocalPrepper. It'll save you $10 out the door. All right, let's get back to the show.
Okay. Hopefully you guys got something out of that. Jace is right now let's just say that it's getting harder to make. It's getting harder to get your hands on medications. Not a joke, especially people who need those meds that if they don't have them, they get unalived. And so that's a good way to do it. Having 12 months on hand pretty much changes the game. Anyway, so I want to thank you guys for putting the ones in the chat. That opens things up right there. Also, Blenny, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Don't recognize you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that subscribe if you are not subscribed. Also, Annie G. Annie EG 822. It's like Spartan 114. I like your name. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Also, guys, if you guys haven't hit that like button yet, it'd be greatly appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and check that. And see what we're doing there. 7 likes. I think we can do better than that, guys. Matter of fact, I know we can do better than that. So if you haven't hit that like button, please do so now. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, so with that said, let's go to the polls here real quick, and then we'll move on to the next subject, which is definitely connected to what we're talking about today. So how close do you think we are to SHTF right now? 45% believe within 1 year, 27% believe in 3 months, and 18% within 6 months, whereas 9% believe very soon. Obviously, you don't have to vote. We're going to talk about different things during this live stream. And yeah, let's do that. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this guy. I'm going to share this with you. And I'm not a fan of the guy. So this guy, Matt Bracken, he's a former Navy SEAL. He's got old frogman, sailor, boat builder, novelist, rabble rouser, banned over a meme in 2019. Okay, great. But the guy is, he's one of those guys that like has seen war and then is like running away scared of it. You know, it's like, and I get it. But I put a post in somebody else's X yesterday because they were just running their sucks about stupid stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm going to ask you a question. Do me a favor. I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Put a 2 in the chat if you disagree. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I believe that everyone, including me, should be deplatformed. Do you agree? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Put a 2 in the chat if you disagree. So, old Matt Bracken says, oil executives are reportedly lobbying the White House against letting Iran charge tolls in the Straits of Hormuz. They say it isn't it. They say it's against international law. Bringing up international law is pretty rich, and the U.S. real started with this entire catastrophe and sneak attack, assassination, missile strike. I mean, I don't have enough breath in my voice to literally listen to this guy just rambling on just because, it's how the hell so many people. How does this guy have 51,000 followers? How many guys? I mean, what do you got to do? I mean, how many pairs of knee pads you got to go through to get 51,000 followers? I mean, I don't know. And so I started really looking into the oil thing. Okay, I started looking into the oil thing, and he's like, "No, I want my platform." It's okay. Like I said, it's I'm not asking for agreement. I'm just asking for your opinions. Anyway, so I started doing research, and it's like we keep getting told that this doesn't affect us because we are a gross exporter of energy / oil. And I'm just like, okay, great. So let's just make more gasoline, or let's just like have our own prices, or maybe just do our own thing. Oh man, my ear. Oh. Inside of it just started itching for no reason. I know it's not politically correct to do this, but wow. Anyway, so I started like, I got into the AI thing, like using AI on a technical level. And I said, if the U.S. is a gross exporter of oil and it has its own gasoline refineries, why is the price of gas going up? And it says that gas prices are rising right now nationwide, primarily because crude oil is a globally traded commodity, and global crude prices have spiked sharply due to the U.S.-Iran conflict disrupting supplies through the Straits of Hormuz. Okay, so very generic frickin' answer. Okay, thank you, Chat GPT or whatever I used to regurgitate it, this information. But one of the big things is oil prices globally, not locally. So oil prices have gone up globally. But once again, the argument is we have our own oil, we have our own refineries. Why are we playing these reindeer games? And you'll be very surprised when I tell you the actual reason why this stuff is happening. Current spike in driven by geopolitics, and then refineries and gasoline are also global. So, basically, what actually makes up the price at the pump. So 50 to 60% is the crude oil cost, right? And then 15 to 25% is the refining costs and margins, so they can make money. All right. And then 15 to 20% is distribution, marketing, and then the station's profits, which are almost zero. If you guys know anybody who owns a gas station, they'll tell you that they make almost no money on the gasoline. And then obviously the 10 to 20% federal and state taxes. But, the biggest problem is... well, I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm going to go to the chat here real quick. Bradley showed up. Good afternoon, my friend. Good to see you. Cindy says, what does it cost to go through the Panama Canal? Yeah, I know, right? Well, they've got to get the problem is that it's 20% of the world's oil comes through the Suez Canal. So it's not about getting it through the Panama Canal. Also, Bradley says, I was showing the wife the pic of the mug. Okay. Where is that? There we go. We're going to throw that up on the screen right there. Yeah, I posted it. I posted this. Am I showing you the right thing? I'm not showing you the right thing. Boom. There it is. Yeah, that's, so for those of you that are new, I've changed the name of the channel several times. And, I went from LocalPrepper to the Local Prepper Project, and I went to Cal was here, and I kind of really screwed the channel up. But so I created a new one. It's called Just Prepping. That's it. Just, you know, where's it at? Where's it at? I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it up. Whoa. Bradley Collins. Let me see here. Just prepping. There it is. Boom. Just prepping. All right. It's picking up speed right now. I got 69 subscribers. And I've already got videos out. I've already got videos, and they're doing really well too. Very surprisingly, you know, it's like first one, second one, third one, and then boom and boom. The numbers just keep going up. And these aren't even right. This is actually closer to 500. I was looking at it this morning, and so the videos are doing really well. I even posted Bradley's thing over here in the post section of the channel. Yeah. So now I've got to go. Like, do I need to make another mug for just prepping? I mean, it wouldn't be hard to do. I could probably do that in like 5-10 minutes tops. But what Bradley does is, where's it at? Where did that go? Where did that image go? Grok, is that it? No, that's not it. Trump's critical. I must have, did I do something stupid? There we go. So Bradley has one of the original local prepper cups. And so every time I change the name of the channel, he just puts tape over it and then sends me a picture of it. So yeah, let's see here. Should I make, so I guess the question is, if you roll over to the Just Prepping channel at some point, answer that question. If you guys want me to make a mug for Just Prepping, let me know. I'll be happy to do it. It doesn't cost me a penny, and then you guys get to buy them. It's really on you guys. It's really on you guys. But getting back to what I was talking about, when disaster strikes. That's not right. There we go. This is what happens when you're running the whole show with your left finger, when I can run an entire television show with my finger. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so that's not the one I want. There's the one I want. So what this comes down to is that 90%, okay, so you got to know a few things, and I'm not going to, let's not pretend this is a boring subject, because it's got, you know, got to keep the gear up to date. I'll sub to the new channel this afternoon. Thanks you, Annie. I appreciate you. But so there's a variable here that nobody talks about. And this is why I went down this rabbit hole, right? We have oil, we have refineries. Why is our gas prices changing? Why are we screwing around with the international market? Is this a global thing? Kind of. And here's why. So here's the variables, right? We make oil, okay? And the majority, I say 90% of the oil that comes, 90% of American oil is what they call light oil, also known as sweet oil. I don't know why. It's just a lighter weight oil, right? 10% of it is what they call crude oil. It's this thick, gooey stuff. It's like basically black dinosaur goo. You know what I'm saying? Our refineries aren't tooled to run 100% light oil. American company, oil, light oil. This is what we got. This is what we found. Let's put it on trucks. Let's get it someplace. Let's get it into pipelines. Let's start making some gasoline with it, right? Yeah, let's do that. No. The majority of our refineries are tooled to operate on crude oil or heavy oil. And the reason they're doing that is because we use so much gasoline, or we need, I think it's 18 billion gallons of oil a day is what we're consuming. It's what American consumers are consuming through gasoline, through other products, things, but it's mostly gasoline and diesel, right? And so logically, it's like, okay, well, let's ask the hard question then. So if U.S. refineries were retooled to accept the U.S. light crude, does the U.S. produce enough light crude to offset the current imports of heavy crude used to produce gasoline? And the answer is yes. The U.S. produces far more than enough light crude to fully replace the volume of heavy crude it currently imports, even after accounting for current crude exports and refinery throughput. Retooling refineries to run primarily on light crude would eliminate the technical mismatch that drives heavy imports today without creating a domestic supply shortfall for gasoline production. And this is where we start to run into, holy shit, West Virginia Pappy, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. Everybody make sure you give him a thumbs up, and I'm going to give him the heart and the thumbs up, okay? And so now we're in a quandary as this American. Why aren't we just retooling our refineries to run on mostly light crude? This is what we have. 90% is what we produce. The problem is we don't produce enough. We consume far more. That's the first problem, okay? That's the first problem. We just consume way too much crude. So we have to bring it in. And you would think that the whole thing would offset if we just retooled all of our refineries to accept light crude instead of heavy crude. And the truth is, we don't refine enough gas, which leaves a giant hole in the theory. Where's all this other gas coming from? Who's making all of our gas? You know what? I need to ask that question. We're going to do that right now because this is just getting crazy. I feel like I'm being taken in a loop. So, how much gasoline does the U.S. import annually? I'm going to get that answer here in a second. So, and the next problem is it would cost anywhere from 500 million to 1.5 billion dollars per refinery to retool it to accept to only process the light crude. So now we're talking about business, we're talking about stakeholders, we're talking about stuff like that. And so it's kind of crazy because some of the math doesn't line up. In one hand, we make enough oil. In two, we make enough gasoline. But then you're telling me that we can't make enough gasoline. We'd have to actually have 6 more refineries. 6 more refineries in the United States. And building them would take anywhere from 1 to 5 years to build a single factory or a refinery. And it's like, okay. But this really comes down to money. This is my opinion. This comes down to money and the stockholders. That's what it comes down to. Now, Bradley says we refine crude because it's cheaper, whereas the light oil is solid as a premium, sold as a premium on the market. There's some truth to that, but that's not the total truth, Brad. That's not the total truth. The truth is that we have 2 different kind of refineries. And I did this in my research today, which is why I'm so mind blown about this whole thing. So all of the refineries that are on Tim, what's up, Broseph? Good to see you. Thank you very much. Make sure everybody gives Tim a thumbs up for that $2 donation. The cats will be eating good tonight. So all of the coastal refineries, okay, they are tooled to either process heavy crude, okay, and they can be tweaked a little bit to accept a mix is what they actually are doing. They're mixing these oils, okay? Why they're doing it, I don't know. It could be because it's easier, or it could be a lot of things. But the ones that are all on the coast all process heavy crude. And the ones that are inland process the light oil, the sweet oil. And there's only a few of them. And one of the arguments is the transportation's a problem. You know, there's all sorts of crazy ass shit that's going on, but it all comes down to money. It all comes back to money. How much money can we make off of this gasoline? That's what it comes down to. And I get it. They're a business. 100% they're a business. But at a certain point, we have to start really looking at the whole America thing. You know what I'm saying? For me, logically, and tell me, do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat if you think I'm right, okay? People would buy more gasoline because they would drive their cars more if the price of gasoline were lower and stable. If you agree with me, put a 1 in the chat. Tim, you're throwing money at me again, Broseph. I will not provide you with any special favors. I will not do it. I own no knee pads, my friend. But thank you very much. That's a huge donation for this channel. I appreciate you, man. Don't give me any more money. I don't want it. Annie G says, though, they're adding more ethanol to our gas, which ruins engines and reduces gas mileage. Gee, thanks. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Here's the thing. I believe, you know, that was all, the whole corn agenda thing was a joke, man. It's all a joke. They're just trying to sell. They're trying to, you know, it's like people are starving throughout the world, and you're telling me that you want to make gasoline with corn. Great. You want to put the gasoline companies out of business? Great. No, what the gasoline companies do, they bought the rights to the corn. And then they bought the amount that the federal law mandated, you know, will accept those things to happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all money. It's all 100% money. So there's no way to actually fix the problem because it's all in the hands of the oil companies. And so, yes, until we have a truly energy America first agenda that is lawful and that is written into law for the companies to understand for the next 20 years, this is what we're going to do now, retool and build more refineries. I mean, think about it. It's going to add jobs to the economy, long-term technical jobs to the economy. It's going to add those. You know what I'm saying? The people that are going to build these things, they're going to have high-paying, long-term jobs for anywhere from 1 to 5 years. It's going to, you know, it's crazy. The industry will explode, all because we just need to stop paying more for gasoline every single time somebody farts in the Middle East. So it's crazy. Let's see here. Tim showed up. Good morning. Keep the lights on and don't forget Julie snacks. I know, right? Julie snacks. Got a table full of them, Broseph. You're keeping her well fed. I don't know if I like it or not. Let's see here. West Virginia Pappy says, ask Walmart, quality over quantity. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. So here's something that should scare the crap out of you. A loaf of bread can sit on my counter for 3 weeks without molding. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. All right, let's see here. So my phone was just making some weird noises. All right, tuition. There you go. Follow the money. E85 up to 85% ethanol. Yeah, I mean, or E88. That's crazy. And he says they will give the jobs to AI and robots. Yeah, there's no doubt that some of that is going to happen. But you know, the thing is, this whole AI and robots thing, you know, that's where the danger starts, when the artificial intelligence meets with the robots. You got Elon Musk saying that there's going to be one in every house, and part of me is like, no, this is bull. I can fold my own laundry, and the other part of me is like, why do I need to fold my own laundry? You know, we're caught, you know, Americans are caught in this conundrum of laziness that's just flat out scary. And I think it has everything to do with our environment and who we see as our heroes. Yeah. Cindy says, our corn is full of glyphosate from Roundup and most countries won't use it, eat it for food or feed, use it for gas. Yeah, I mean, I get you, Cindy. It's, yeah, that's, I mean, there's logic to that statement. There's a lot of logic to that statement. But you know, well, why don't we just stop using glyphosate? Yeah, I know it keeps crops from going bad. I get it. I know some of it doesn't wash off, and it's just, you're going to consume it if you eat it. I know that. I think, you know, unfortunately, I think we just need to get back to victory gardens and community gardens and keeping things very small, because what happens, so when they need these chemicals to make large crops sustainable, they do not need these chemicals to keep small crops sustainable. There will always be some form of crop loss. There will always be some form of crop loss, and these chemicals keep a lot of that from happening. But when you start talking about small crop, it's getting harder to say crops. You don't have this problem. You know, if you have like a community garden, and maybe that's where your corn comes from. And let's face it, the only thing the modern world uses corn for in the food industry is creating some form of flour, or putting it in a can with water. You know, after you've cooked it for 90 minutes at 290 degrees to kill everything inside of it, to include its vitamins and nutrients, which you have to be put back into them somehow or sprayed onto them before they go in the can. You know, it's kind of mind-blowing that we even put this much emphasis on corn, because it does almost nothing for us. Yes, we can make some flour from it. Okay, great. We can do that with wheat too. But once again, we're back to the same thing. So maybe we need some, you know, hand tended to large gardens of wheat and corn, and then everybody else just grows their own stuff in a victory garden in their backyard. You know, so I think us going big has been a problem, because it's always about the money. In the end, it's all about the money. All right, let's see here. We're about to hit our 1 hour mark. Let's see here. Follow the money, tuition, UK bread 3 days. Yeah, I've heard that. Let's see here. Alexa with a body. And he says they are making more synthetic food because they are Star Trek fans and want us to have food synthesized instead of farms. You know, I know people that would eat synthesized beef and chicken. And I don't really have a problem with it, as long as it's, well, I won't say synthesized, grown, okay? Because we've already proven that we can do that. And as long as it's grown from that particular type of animal and didn't need you to add this and add that to make all that happen, then I don't really have a problem with it, because we're kind of like, you know, we're just punching ourselves in the face over and over every time we do something we think is better. You know, it's like that fake meat. Anybody ever have one of those fake meat burgers at Burger King? Yeah, that stuff sticks with you, man. It makes you feel bad. I don't know. Let's see here. West Virginia Pappy says rain picks up pollutants from one area delivered to another. That's true. Corn tortillas. And he says, and people can't understand why everyone is so sick all the time. Oh yeah. Just say no. Just say no Soylent Green. I know, right? Let's see here. I want to make sure that where are we at? Shopping. There we go. Come on now. Digital Pharaoh UK. There we go. Let me turn this on. There we go. Just for you, Cindy. Soylent Green Vital Supplements. Vile Supplements. Green, extra green edition, making food with the people since 2025. And I don't really even know what this is, but I know it pops up. There was also another Soylent Green that was an energy drink, or it was a meal replacement. See if I can find it. There we go. Where are we at here? Okay, there we go. Here, we'll turn that on. Let's close that out. Is Soylent Green truly green? 20 grams of protein from plant protein. I guess it's supposed to be like soil as in Soylent Green. Is it truly green? Is it truly green? I'm kind of curious now. So burn out the desire, blah, blah, blah. You can't even read. They really picked a crappy set of text. Usable protein per acre of farmland. Whatever. No, anybody who eats this soy crap, you're just poisoning your body. All right, let's see here. EU. I know, right? Why do they need to imitate meat taste for non-meat estered? Well, because people won't eat it if it tastes like what it really tastes like. Let's see. Just say no to long pork. There you go. Okay, guys. So we've hit our 1 hour mark. I've got to go tend to the love of my life and do a couple of business-related things. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. For those of you that donated, I need to. Can I change this? My top fans were Tim Huther, West Virginia Pappy, and Cindy Hoff in that order. And I want to thank, where are we at here? Moderator timestamps. There's a way for me to check to see the fundraising. There we go. I want to thank, we got Alrighty then, Cindy Hoff, West Virginia Pappy, Tim Huther, and Tim Huther. He's in the house twice. For donating to the Keep My Cats and Lights Fed and Lights On and Girlfriends. So maybe I'll just call it the Girlfriends Snack Fund. Thank you very much, guys. As usual, stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. If another video pops up over here for the replay crew, make sure you go watch it. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.